question is, what role does society play in structuring our ideals, values, and sense of right and wrong? First thing we did, Lord of the Flies, branches off into two different main societies structured by the leaders Ralph and Jack. Ralph was like the democratic leader of the two. He was like elected, and that's what people wanted. They like wanted Ralph to begin with. And a couple of the like symbols that were like mainly connected with Ralph was the conch shell, and the conch shell like was the starting of his democracy, and it just said like freedom of speech and stuff like that. It showed like how important it was to have like a voice out and everything. And like, yeah, other, what says it? So Biggie's glasses was another big symbol in his society. It just like was like wisdom, and like showed them like what they could do if they like kind of put their mind to it. And I mean, it helped them out in like different aspects of like what their society did.
Piggy himself was kind of the adult figure, and the adult figure is the one with the glasses who used his kind of allegorical relation to have his glasses as clarity, and his personality as an adult figure, which kind of shows that the more adult you are, you gain more of a type of clarity in a sense, and then slowly the clarity can be lost with events and such, like when he broke it from the Jack starting to be barbaric. That was a loss of the clarity, and it started losing more and more clarity as things got worse and worse.
With those glasses, they started a fire for rescue, and they saw the fire for rescue as like pretty important. And at the beginning, they pretty much all strived to like work together to keep that going. Later on, it kind of fell apart. So, I mean, to them it was important at the time, but as society changed, Jack's society, two things that were like linked with his were like the killings and hunters. And the killings, like, they viewed that as like okay. So people like viewed it as acceptable, and like it changed their right to wrong by starting with that. Lies is like a fictional spin on like what survival would be like if you were a kid, I guess. And the societies that were created work in a sense of like how the society viewed it should work, but as like human nature, it didn't really, like Jack's for example, didn't really possess that positive human nature.
Their ideas of right and wrong changed when Jack took over. He thought completely different from what Ralph thought, and so their values and ideals and everything changed when the society changed over. Because we had night as well. It was more like a military dictatorship. It was all very structured. In this society, they looked down upon the people who were imperfect, and these people were like the Jews and the homosexuals and the gypsies, and the imperfect. They were lesser than everyone else, and even though they were still people, but their view of them had changed because that's what they were told. And in this society, they were told, like, these people aren't what we should be looking for, this isn't what we want. And so that's how they became the lesser race, the best. And if you were these people, you were on top. You were everyone. This is what you wanted. In the ghettos, they had a limited government. They couldn't do a whole lot. They were still like able to be themselves, I guess, but they didn't have the freedoms that you would in a
Life was still like normal, but it was like restricted. Like there's like, you couldn't vacation and you were also split off, like Jews couldn't hang out with like Christians or stuff like that, so.
They were forced, they were taken from their homes to live in different conditions. These conditions weren't as good as their original homes. They were different and they had to adjust, and it wasn't ideal for them at all. So it's harder for them to live in these places.
אנחנו לא מבינים, לא שומעים מה שאומרים, צועקים, אומרים לנו משהו. אנחנו מסכימים, משוגעים, זה לא פה, אנחנו משוגעים, תהיה לכם מתלהבים, תהיה לכם מרים, ואחרי שעתיים אנחנו מבינים, לעולם גדול, הנגר כזה ענקים, ספסלים, אומרים, תשמעו, אתם נסעתם המונגנים, לפי, תתפשטו, תקפו לפתח גדול, כל אחד עושים על הספסל שיזכור את מי שמתקרבים שלו, ורק תחזיקו את המים בידיים, ואנחנו נכנסים למקלחת. אנחנו באמת נכנסים למקלחת, לצפות, ולא, המים האלה כאילו לא הספיקו להתרטב. ואז פותחים דלת, אנחנו לא חוזרים באולם איפה שפשטנו, אנחנו יוצאים לדלת אחרת. אולם השני, אנחנו עדיין עמנו, יושבים ספרים מפורט, ובנות שורות, עשרות ספרים, מספרים את הנשים. כמובן שרות מכל הצבעים, מכל האורך, ערימות של שערות על הרצפה, ופתאום אנשים לא מכירים אחד את השני. אנחנו קודם כל בהלם, אנחנו גם לא חושבים איך הגענו פה מטרה. אנחנו לא יכולים לשחזר את כל מה שקרה לנו מהבוקר עד עכשיו. נכנסת אחת השומרות, ואנחנו שואלים, תגידי, זה נכון שבסוף שבוע אנחנו נפגוש את הפורעים, את המשפחה? מי אמר לכם את זה? הורים, משפחה, אתם רואים את הערוגות, אתם רואים את העשן, הם כבר בשמיים. מה זה מדברת שטויות? את משוגעת? מה, אתם לא מריחים את הריח של בשר חרוף? שורטים את האנשים. אני לא משוגעת, תבינו לאן הגעתם.
The society they had, to us today, it's just unreal almost. Like it doesn't make sense how this could happen. But how did it start? Like led this, and they slowly changed the minds of people, and that's how it started. That's how the society formed, and how it all went down from there.
And as the beginning of this society, people still had hopes, and they're like, oh, it's going to end. It's just going to be a couple weeks, and we'll be good to go. But as it really set in, people like lost their sense of like wanting to live, and they no longer cared about things. And it just, sometimes people were corrupted and even acted violently towards other people who were in this bad situation. So how does society structure us? Well, we also structure society, and the society that we do structure like causes our sense of wrong to like change, or what we view as right also changes depending on how the society believes it should change.